Space.com, May 16, 2018. From comedian and actor Patton Oswalt. Quote, "Please at Amazon, you guys do some serious, quality shows, and this is some of the smartest science fiction to appear in a long time. Hashtag save the Expanse." End quote. From author George R.R. Martin. Quote, "Just saw online that sci-fi has cancelled the Expanse. It's a damn shame, especially for fans of space science fiction, of which I count myself one. It was the best space show on television, far and away. I hope its producers can find another home for it." End quote. From Alcon Entertainment co-CEOs Andrew Kosov and Broderick Johnson. Quote, "The outpouring of support and enthusiasm from fans of The Expanse has been remarkable and encouraging." End quote. This is On the Bubble podcast. My name is Josh Liston, and today we're taking a look at the explosive fan campaign for acclaimed sci-fi drama The Expanse. Okay, let's do this thing.
Hi, I'm Stargate Pioneer.
And I'm Steven Jondrew, and we're from Better Podcasting, a proud member of the Gonna Geek Network.
Just like the show you're listening to now.
The opinions expressed are those of the individual host.
Check out all the other podcasts at GonnaGeekNetwork.com.
And get ready, because geekiness begins in 3,
2,
1.
According to thisisinsider.com, Sci-Fi cancelled The Expanse after 3 seasons, instigating a massive fan reaction and a desperate attempt to find the series a new home. As a way of introduction to the sheer scope of everything that fans of The Expanse were doing, as at the 10th of May 2018 when the show was cancelled, I thought I'd give you guys just a quick rundown of just some of the things that the core campaigners were doing to try and get interest from another network, be it a Netflix or the Amazon platform or whoever it may have been that fans thought could take on a show that was operating at the scale of The Expanse. Fans initially started with a reddit.com mega thread where the campaigning began, and also an unofficial Expanse Discord server, which we may be hearing more about in the future, the concept of a Discord server. Fans also launched what turned out to be the perfect hashtag Save the Expanse, and also a very, very popular change.org petition. One particular Reddit user DQ87, posted a call to action video clip, which I've linked up in the show notes where you're listening to this episode today, which accumulated a massive number of upvotes on Reddit. It's over 50,000 upvotes. That's just mind-boggling. And the video has also gone on to have more than 170,000 views on YouTube. It was shared by the cast and the crew, which really drove that adoption and the sharing aspect of the video clip. And that sharing from cast and crew really birthed the moment that the Save the Expanse campaign became officially, quote-unquote, viral, which is pretty awesome. Fans also retweeted comments from popular celebrities, Patton Oswalt, the comedian, as well as mega best-selling author George R.R. Martin. Those tweets just took off like a firestorm, that people at that level, the creative peak in their particular industries, were openly saying in public that The Expanse was the best sci-fi property in a long time, which is really exciting, I guess, for a fan, that it's not just you with your community that are spreading the word, but there's people with millions of followers and I guess had the ear of a big portion of that Hollywood and North American TV machine. That's pretty awesome. Another Reddit user created a successful GoFundMe campaign, which this is so good. It actually enabled multiple airplanes over the course of a day to fly over the Amazon TV studios in Los Angeles. And I've actually attached a photo in the show notes of the particular plane with the Save the Expanse banner if you wanted to see what it actually looked like. And finally, although there was a massive number of other initiatives underway, one thing I wanted to highlight was a video from Bora A. Kutlu, and apologies if I pronounced that particular name incorrectly. Kutlu produced a stunning 3D video which mimicked how a particular network in the future could actually digitally represent what was important about The Expanse, why it's so great, why fans are so devoted to it in the form of a really clever and modern advertising campaign for the show itself. And we'll hear later from some of the cast and crew, they're laughing about it as though, in a way to say, well, that's better than anything any network could have done. That's how good that was. So we turn now to a report from Deadline.com. Deadline was speaking with Amazon Studios Chief Executive Officer, Jennifer Salk, and Jennifer said, quote, "There were aeroplanes circling us," unquote. Quote, "I was having cakes delivered," unquote. Quote, "Jeff Bezos was getting emails from everyone, from George R.R. Martin to every captain of industry," unquote. So yes, as we just heard there, the world's richest man and founder of Amazon, Jeff Bezos, was getting emails from creative and tech industry heavyweights of all kinds, including the creator of Game of Thrones, one of the most culturally impactful pop culture entities ever, about the importance and the quality of The Expanse. And what's even cooler, according to ArsTechnica.com, Bezos himself was already a fan of the series and was seeking a deal to save it. That's so cool, yeah? It's really important to note here that even the world's richest man, Jeff Bezos, can't just flick a switch and bring any television show he happens to like back to life. In the particular case of The Expanse, as we heard earlier, the show was produced by a company called Alcon Entertainment. With the over-the-air rights, that's important here, the over-the-air rights holder, Sci-Fi, or as you might know it, the Sci-Fi Channel, not owning the digital broadcast or streaming rights, with Amazon streaming the show in the USA and Netflix streaming the show in some other regions, including my home country of Australia, where I first came across The Expanse.
And 99% of the rest were about the fact that Sci-Fi canceled The Expanse.
This is a shame because The Expanse was critically acclaimed for sci-fi.
Yeah, it's the best sci-fi since Battlestar Galactica, in my opinion. And IMDb, I think they had like an 8.6 or something insane, like just behind Westworld.
Nice.
We've talked about this on the show before, whereas Battlestar Galactica is a very human sci-fi drama. This one's very world-based, or at least, that's the way I read it.
World building?
Yeah. In a very believable, plausible 22nd century world. It critically, I can't think of any sci-fi that is as beloved as it in the last 10 years. Unfortunately, I guess the ratings took a dip. Was it a big dip, Bryce, or did the articles mention?
I don't know that the articles mentioned the ratings for The Expanse specifically. We got a quote from NBC Universal executive Chris McCumber, who said, called it a difficult decision. Deadline says the decision was driven by the fact that Sci-Fi got no digital rights, combined with slightly lower ratings. Alcon, the production company that makes the show, says it's going to shop it around. In a related note, last September, Dark Matter's creator Joseph Malazzi explained on his blog that one of the factors causing Sci-Fi to cancel Dark Matter was that Sci-Fi didn't own all of the rights and is moving forward toward owning all of their shows on the network.
That particular piece of tape, I need to credit one of my favourite podcasts ever for, Tom Merritt's Cord Killers. Awesome show if you happen to be into television and even maybe more so the technology behind television and the industry itself. The guys mentioned in that audio that the ownership of the different forms of broadcast and streaming rights associated to The Expanse was potentially a contributing factor to the cancellation of the show, because Sci-Fi may have reached the point where they're like, do we keep funding a very expensive show when we don't actually own the rights to restream the show in our home market or many of the global markets? Those rights are owned by other companies. It was also noted that the complexity of those particular rights may make the goal of saving the show slightly more complex. So now might be a good time to recap a little of what we've heard so far, and the following piece of tape is from Gunna Geek Network member Michelle. speaking about The Expanse and the campaign to save The Expanse on the official Gonna Geek show back in June 2018. Take it away, Michelle.
From Reddit campaigns to airplanes. And with airplanes, they raised money to do a banner over like the Amazon headquarters.
Awesome.
Somebody actually launched a model of the Rossi, which is the ship, into space because they were like, we wanted to keep the Rossi flying in space. It was amazing.
That's really, really cool. How neat is that? You're talking
Yes.
about plane
So there was a rocket sent into space. We already know about the fan-funded planes flying over the Amazon LA offices with the Save the Expanse banners. There was great videos. There was cast and crew participation. But one thing that made this particular campaign more explosive, as we mentioned in the intro to today's episode, was the fact that there was a lot of traditional media around the campaign, including the following audio from the LA Talk radio show, which featured multiple members of the Expanse cast. It made me really happy to hear how grateful the cast were during a pretty tough time for everyone involved in making the show. So it wasn't just the fans that were devastated. When it came to The Expanse, the cast and crew, they weren't ready for the show to be over. As we'll find out later, there was a lot of feeling around the community that the show had reached a new pinnacle at the end of season 3. So I've done the best that I could to balance the audio in this particular interview, to isolate some of the voices so you can really hear what's going on. And once again, thank you to the LA Talk radio show.
Yeah, it was a very rare situation where the network didn't own 100% of the rights. Alcon, the production company, owned all of the rights to it. So they actually have the power, if the passion is there and the desire is there, they have the power to do something with it.
Right.
And then the fans went crazy. And on the day that the banner thing, some of the fans...
Tell what happened. Tell the story.
Raised money. Yeah, there was one or two fans put like $4,000 in a GoFundMe campaign. They raised it in 5 hours. They actually surpassed it.
Wow.
I think they got $5,000 and change. And so they bought two 2-hour spots to fly an airplane with a banner saying "Save the Expanse" over Amazon.com's headquarters in LA.
The studio.
The studio.
Santa Monica.
Yeah.
And the names are...
that is such a great idea.
Murillo Silva is the one who did the banners.
Ed is doing the editing.
Oh, okay.
That's like entrepreneurship at its best.
These are a few of our people that have been really putting a lot out there. Bora Cthulhu did this amazing video that showed the Expanse promotion all over the world, kind of Save the Expanse, Save the Expanse. He put this CGI kind of special effects
what
thing.
What a really good marketing campaign would work.
It would be like a $50 million marketing campaign, and it looked amazing, and he put that on the internet. Michael Pia, who's a journalist who's been pushing us like crazy, works with the San Diego Comic-Con people. Ed Askelrud is one of our video editors who's been doing these amazing montages of the 3 years of The Expanse all together.
Big impact.
Yeah,
we were listening.
Yeah, they all tuned in live.
They raised within 3 hours enough money to send a little Rossi model to space.
That's right. Did they really? They have a Rossi going to space.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
And they sent coffee packages, like Expanse packages, to certain people at Amazon.
Wow.
Yeah. No, they're very creative and very passionate.
And I think it was a combination.
So we've come to that moment, as we do in every On the Bubble episode, where we find out, did the fan campaign work? Did the Expanse faithful get their season 4? Well, today, instead of me telling you what happened and you guys hearing even more of my voice, I wanted to finish up with 2 pieces of audio that kind of tell the story in a way that I really can't, about where the show was at the end of season 3 and now what's happening with the show going forward. The first piece of audio is courtesy of Stargate Pioneer, who is a longtime member of the Gonna Geek network. The second piece of audio is actually from Jeff Bezos himself. In this clip, Bezos was speaking live from the stage at the International Space Development Conference back in mid-2018. So thank you very much for listening. As always, it's been a real pleasure. Thank you for giving me a small chunk of your life. Hopefully the podcast was enjoyable today. Don't be afraid to spread the word to any friends you know that love shows. For all the resources and links and videos, etc., which there was a pile of today, head to onthebubblepodcast.com. Don't forget to check out the gonnageek.com website if you're interested in checking out the official Gonna Geek show, for example. And until next time, take care, keep enjoying your TV, and here is Stargate Pioneer, followed by Jeff Bezos. Catch you later.
But it became the show that I wanted to see, and there is some weird stuff that happens along the way, but it's all good sci-fi, and I can't state this enough. If you get to the end of season 3, you're like, oh my gosh, I never thought the show was actually this show. This is amazing, and I can't believe that sci-fi was like, okay, we're done. Because this tells me where sci-fi really is, and I don't ever want to watch another show on sci-fi again. The only thing I'm watching on sci-fi, just to close it out, because I've watched so much of it, is Killjoys. And even that I'm not entirely enticed with. But that network is basically dead to me now, because if they get rid of shows like Defiance, which I can marginally understand, and if they can get rid of The Expanse, I can understand. I mean, I understand it from a business standpoint, but I don't understand it from... If their producers had watched all the way, if not the producers, but the network people had watched all the way to the end of season 3, they would have said, oh, yeah, we're in. This is the show that we've been wanting since Battlestar. And they're just not.
I was telling them that we were working hard at Amazon to save The Expanse, but it wasn't a done deal yet. And during dinner, 10 minutes ago, I just got word that The Expanse is saved.